When Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker made their romance public, it felt like the entire celebrity world stopped to take notice. Kourtney, long known as the most private and least theatrical Kardashian sister, suddenly became the center of attention. And by her side? A tattoo-covered rock star whose edgy persona seemed like the complete opposite of the polished Kardashian lifestyle. This wasn't the Kourtney we thought we knew. The sister who rolled her eyes at Kim's over-the-top photo shoots. The one who opted out of family drama. The mom who kept her kids far from the spotlight. Suddenly, she was everywhere, tongue-deep in passionate kisses, holding hands with Travis at every public event, posting cryptic love notes on Instagram. It was jarring. It was unexpected. And honestly, it was fascinating. From day one, people knew this wasn't just another Hollywood fling. Their endless kisses on red carpets, the hand-holding during family dinners on the Kardashians, the surprise trips and proposals, it all looked like a fairy tale. Tabloids feasted on their PDA, fans crowned them Hollywood's hottest couple, and social media couldn't get enough. Twitter exploded. Instagram engagement skyrocketed. Even TikTok creators dedicated entire accounts to dissecting their every move. To outsiders, it looked like Kourtney had finally found her happily ever after. A man who adored her, who was loud about his love, and who gave her the kind of devotion she'd been waiting for. Travis wasn't shy about his feelings. He gushed about her in interviews, dedicated songs to her at Blink-182 concerts, and made it clear to the world that Kourtney was his everything. But behind the glossy Instagram photos and magazine covers, cracks started to show. Not immediately at first. Everyone was too dazzled by the romance to notice. But slowly, whispers began. Friends close to the family started dropping hints to tabloids. Body language experts analyzed their red carpet appearances. Fans who watched the Kardashians closely started piecing together a different narrative. At first, Travis's impulsive nature seemed romantic, tattooing Kourtney's name on his chest within weeks, whisking her away on last-minute trips, flooding her with affection wherever they went. It was the kind of love people write songs about, the kind that makes you believe in soulmates. It was intoxicating, especially for Kourtney, who had dealt with years of turbulence and heartbreak with her ex, Scott Disick. Let's be real, Scott was a disaster. He struggled with addiction, he partied excessively, he cheated, and he made Kourtney question her worth over and over again. For nearly a decade, she stayed, hoping he'd change. She gave him chance after chance, all while raising their 3 kids mostly on her own. So when Travis came along stable, successful, devoted, it must have felt like a dream. But as time went on, the same impulsiveness that fans called romance began to test the stability Kourtney valued. Travis's grand gestures started feeling less like love and more like pressure. The constant need to be together, the over-the-top public displays, the intensity of it all, it was a lot. Even for someone desperate to leave her past behind. Even she admitted in a rare, candid moment. Travis has a big heart, but sometimes he acts before thinking. Those few words shifted how many fans saw the relationship. Suddenly, this wasn't just a love story, it was also a test of boundaries, patience, and balance. That quote spread like wildfire. Think pieces emerged overnight. Relationship experts weighed in. Reddit threads exploded with debates about whether Travis's love was genuine or just another form of control disguised as devotion. Some fans defended him fiercely, arguing that passion isn't meant to be calculated. Others worried that Kourtney was trading one unhealthy dynamic for another, just with better PR. What people sometimes forget is that long before the kissing sprees and the multiple weddings, there was something simpler. Friendship. Kourtney and Travis had been neighbors in Calabasas for years. Their kids grew up knowing each other. Their families often crossed paths. They'd grab coffee, attend the same events, share parenting tips over backyard barbecues. Unlike many of Kourtney's past boyfriends, Travis wasn't drawn in by Kardashian fame. He already had his own career and legacy. As the drummer for Blink-182, he'd achieved rock star status long before reality TV became the Kardashian empire. He'd survived a horrific plane crash in 2008 that killed 4 people and left him with burns covering most of his body. He'd rebuilt his life, his career, and his confidence. That sense of grounding, that resilience, it's exactly what first attracted her. In interviews before they dated, Kourtney once said she admired how Travis stayed true to himself despite fame. She respected that he prioritized his kids. She appreciated that he didn't need her family's platform to validate his existence. For someone exhausted by Scott's dependency and the family's constant spotlight, Travis seemed like the perfect escape. Still, once they officially went public in 2021, the romance took off at lightning speed. Within days, PDA photos filled Instagram with captions as simple as a black heart emoji, but powerful enough to break the internet. Suddenly, Kourtney, once considered the quietest Kardashian, became the loudest. She posted photos of them making out on boats, straddling each other at Disneyland, kissing backstage at concerts. It was aggressive, it was unapologetic, and it was everywhere. Travis's impulsive streak became his trademark. The chest tattoo of Kourtney's name, the constant over-the-top displays of affection, the whirlwind trips to exotic locations, all of it seemed like a modern fairy tale. He got her name tattooed over his heart. Then he added more tattoos, her lips, quotes about their love, symbols representing their bond. His body became a canvas dedicated to their relationship. Fans were divided. Some cheered them on, calling it true love in its rawest form. They created fan pages, posted supportive comments, defended the couple against critics. To them, Kourtney and Travis represented what love should be: unfiltered, passionate, fearless. Others rolled their eyes, saying the PDA was too much, too performative, too desperate for attention. They questioned whether any relationship this loud could possibly be real. Even Kim Kardashian, never one to hold back, once deadpanned on camera, "We get it, you're in love." The shade was subtle but sharp. Kim, the queen of calculated branding, clearly didn't understand Kourtney's approach. Why make your relationship so public? Why lose the mystique? Why give the world so much access to something so personal? But Kourtney didn't care. For once, she wasn't following the family playbook. She wasn't building a brand or crafting a narrative. She was just living, or at least, that's what she told herself. And then came the weddings, 3 of them to be exact. First, a quick Vegas ceremony with an Elvis impersonator officiant, no marriage license, just pure spontaneous fun at 2 a.m. after the Grammy Awards. They posted photos immediately: Kourtney in a leather jacket, Travis in his typical rocker attire, both grinning like teenagers. It was chaotic, unplanned, and quintessentially Travis. Then came a small courthouse wedding in Santa Barbara, quiet and legal this time, with just a few close friends present. This was the real deal: signed papers, official vows, binding commitment. No press, no cameras, just intimacy. For a moment, it seemed like maybe Kourtney had found her balance between public and private. But then came the grand Italian extravaganza hosted by Dolce & Gabbana in Portofino. This was the spectacle, the fairytale finale. Kourtney wore a custom corset and veil, featuring a hand-embroidered depiction of the Virgin Mary. Travis looked like he'd stepped out of a luxury fashion campaign. The guest list was star-studded. The location was breathtaking. Every detail screamed opulence and romance. Each wedding was bigger and bolder than the last. To some, it was romantic: 3 celebrations of love, each representing a different facet of their relationship. To others, it screamed too much, too fast. Why did they need 3 weddings? Was once not enough? Were they trying to convince themselves or the world? Even within the family, not everyone was on board. Kim and Khloe raised eyebrows about how quickly things escalated. They worried Kourtney was being swept away by Travis's energy rather than staying grounded. Behind closed doors, conversations grew tense. Kim questioned whether Kourtney was thinking clearly. Khloe tried to play mediator but found herself caught in the middle. And then came the infamous Dolce & Gabbana feud. Kourtney accused Kim of stealing her wedding aesthetic by collaborating with the same fashion house shortly after her Italian ceremony. It wasn't just about clothes, it was about respect, boundaries, and whether family loyalty meant anything when millions of dollars were at stake. Their on-screen fight turned into one of the rawest, most shocking Kardashian clashes ever. Cameras captured every brutal moment. Kourtney snapped at Kim, "You stole my wedding. You couldn't let me have one thing that was mine." The pain in her voice was visceral. This wasn't scripted drama, this was real betrayal. Kim, cold as ever, shot back, "It's not about you, it's business. Dolce is a massive brand opportunity, and I'm not going to pass that up because you had your wedding there." Her tone was dismissive, almost cruel. She didn't apologize, she didn't back down. She made it clear that business would always come first. That exchange revealed everything. Kourtney wanted her relationship and her wedding to be sacred, protected from the family machine. Kim saw everything as content, as opportunity, as currency in the Kardashian empire. 2 sisters living in completely different worlds, one prioritizing personal happiness, the other prioritizing profit. Even Khloe admitted the family felt divided, confessing on camera, "It feels like we're all walking on eggshells." I don't know whose side to take because I understand both of them. Kendall tried to quietly support Kourtney, checking in with her privately, avoiding the public battle. Kylie, meanwhile, leaned closer to Kim for business reasons after all. Their beauty and fashion collaborations were worth millions. And fans? They picked sides immediately. Hashtags like Talker Team Kourtney and Talker Team Kim went viral within hours. TikTok filled with memes, edits, and parodies of their fight. Some videos defended Kourtney, painting her as the sister who finally chose herself over toxic family dynamics. Others supported Kim, arguing that business is business, and Kourtney was being overly sensitive. Some fans praised Kourtney for choosing love over branding, for prioritizing her happiness instead of following the family formula. They saw her relationship with Travis as liberation finally. She was free from Scott's toxicity and her family's control. Others accused her of being selfish and naive, arguing that she'd been part of the Kardashian brand for over a decade and suddenly pretending to be above it was hypocritical. The discourse got intense. Pop culture podcasts dedicated entire episodes to analyzing the feud. Entertainment journalists wrote think pieces about sisterhood, boundaries, and the cost of fame. Psychologists weighed in on family dynamics and the trauma of growing up in the public eye. But what truly hit viewers was when Kourtney broke down in tears on camera, her voice cracking as she said, "I feel like I'm happy, but my family can't stand it. No one wants me to just live. Everyone has an opinion about my relationship, about my choices, about everything. And all I wanted was to be happy for once without having to explain or justify it to anyone." That vulnerability struck a chord. For once, it wasn't scripted TV drama, it felt raw and real. Viewers saw a woman torn between the family she'd always known and the life she desperately wanted to build. It was heartbreaking, it was relatable, and it made people question whether fame was worth the cost. Travis, of course, stood by her side through it all, showering her with affection and constant reminders of his love. He posted supportive messages on Instagram. He defended her in interviews. He made it clear that he'd choose her over anyone, including her own family if necessary. During the height of the feud, Travis posted a photo of them together with the caption, "You deserve to be happy. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." It was romantic, sure, but it also drove a deeper wedge between Kourtney and her sisters. It positioned him as her protector against her own family, which felt both loving and isolating. But the question remains, does his impulsive devotion strengthen Kourtney? Or does it widen the rift between her and her family? Is his love helping her find herself? Or is it making her lose sight of the relationships that once defined her? There's a fine line between supporting someone's independence and encouraging their isolation. Some relationship experts argue that Travis's intensity might be overwhelming Kourtney's ability to think clearly about what she truly needs. Others counter that after years of tolerating Scott's behavior and her family's demands, maybe overwhelming love is exactly what she deserves. The truth is, Travis Barker's love changed everything. It gave Kourtney the confidence to stand apart from the Kardashian brand, to prioritize her own happiness, to set boundaries she never had the strength to set before. But it also fractured the sisterhood the family had carefully built for years. Every tattoo, every kiss on the red carpet, every viral fight, it all keeps the Kardashian empire at the heart of pop culture. But at what personal cost? Here's what makes this story so compelling. It's not just about romance, it's about identity. For years, Kourtney was defined by her role in the family, the responsible oldest sister, the mom who kept it together, the one who cleaned up everyone else's messes. She played her part dutifully, even when it hurt. Travis offered her an escape, a chance to be seen as something other than a Kardashian, a chance to prioritize passion over practicality, a chance to finally live on her own terms. And she took it, consequences be damned. But escaping your identity isn't simple, especially when your identity is tied to a billion-dollar empire and a family that's been performing together for nearly 2 decades. Kourtney's choice to prioritize Travis and her happiness created ripples that affected everyone: her sister's business deals, the show's narrative, the family's public image, even her own children's relationships with their cousins. And now, fans are left wondering, can Kourtney have both her whirlwind romance and a united family? Or is Travis's wild, passionate love the very thing that ensures the Kardashians will never be the same again? Can she maintain her boundaries without losing her sisters? Can she love Travis without sacrificing the relationships that shaped her? So now it's your turn. What do you think? Is Travis the love story Kourtney always dreamed of, the partner who finally sees her, values her, and fights for her? Or is his impulsiveness a storm that could eventually cost her more than she bargained for? Will his intensity ultimately strengthen her or consume her? And what about the family? Can the Kardashians survive this fracture, or has Kourtney's choice to prioritize herself created a permanent divide? Is this the beginning of Kourtney's true independence, or the tragic end of the sisterhood that built an empire? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Gossip Mail Report so you never miss a twist in Hollywood's biggest stories. Because if there's one guarantee with the Kardashians, it's that the drama never ends. And honestly, we're all here for it.